Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to CBC Report. I am Lao Xingyan, and here are our latest top stories. The arrest of the man who claims to be the Sultan of Malacca was done in accordance with the law. Home Minister Dato Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said that no one could claim to be the Sultan of Malacca according to the state and federal constitution. Describing the claim as preposterous, he said, "The last Sultan of Malacca was Sultan Manjur Shah. That is history," Ahmad Zahid, who was speaking to reporters after launching the police football team here yesterday, said no one could claim the throne of Malacca. Malacca Deputy Tourism, Coastal, Rivers and Islands Development Committee Chairman Dr. Ghazali Muhammad urged followers to the bogus Sultan to stop and reflect on what they were doing. "I think they need to study the country's history again," he said. He said the case of Nurjan Pua was an act of self-deceit and should not be heeded by others. Previous awards, titles, and medals given by fake sultans were meant to hoodwink unsuspecting people into parting with their money. Ghazali said those making false claims were liable to be punished severely under the law. Besides cheating the people of money, they are impersonating others. As for Malacca, it is not right for anyone to claim to be the Sultan. Based on the federal constitution, the state is administered by a federal representative as a head of state, namely the governor of Malacca, who is appointed by the king.
Yang merasa tidak puas hati, yang merasa bersusah di atas tuntutan nama Nurjan ini untuk mengikiranya sebagai.
Based on the federal constitution, the state is administered by a federal representative as the head of state, namely, the governor of Malacca is appointed by the king. For more national news, we do not need a law that tells us how to care for our parents, said Ahmad Khatim. Netizens are divided over a law that requires for children to take care of their parents, especially when the latter are no longer capable of doing so. Some commented on the Star's online Facebook page that a law for such filial piety was unnecessary. In Bangkok, a loud blast shook the house of a Thai opposition leader as protesters try to oust the government that remains camped in Bangkok. Some hardline protesters have threatened to blockade the stock market and airline exchange if Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra does not step down. Hardline protesters have threatened to blockade the stock exchange and an air traffic communications facility on Wednesday if Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra does not step down. But there were no earlier signs of trouble at either the bourse or at the central Bangkok offices of Aerothai, which is in charge of air traffic control for planes that use Thai airspace. No one was hurt in the blast at the residence of Democrat Party leader and former Prime Minister Abhishek Vijaya. There was no one at home at the time. The explosion destroyed part of the roof of the house. It wasn't a bomb. We believe it could have been a firework, said an officer at the nearby Thong Lor police station, declining to be named.
I am concerned about security because there will be a lot of protesters in the capital. Violence is increasing. I want to urge all sides, everybody, not to clash and fight. We are all Thai citizens. We can have differences of opinion, but cannot kill each other. Please do not be violent. Thai society must reduce violence.
Abhishek and other Democrat leaders have joined in the protest movement against Yingluck and have refused to be part in an election she called for February 2nd. Yingluck's Pheu Thai party seems certain to win any election held under present arrangements, and SETUP's central aim is to alter the electoral rules to make a different outcome possible. A Japanese self-defense ship and a fishing boat crew collided off the coast of Hiroshima in western Japan, leaving two of the boat's crew members in critical condition. The fishing boat, with a crew of 4, capsized after the collision at around 8 a.m. The fishing boat, with 4 crew, capsized after the collision with the vessel Osumi at around 8 a.m. The cause of the collision is still being investigated, the Japanese Coast Guard said. The accident is very regrettable, Defense Minister Itsunori Onodera told an emergency news conference after the accident, pledging full cooperation and help with the probe. The accident comes as Prime Minister Shinzo Abe boosts military spending to counter a more militarily assertive China, with ships from 2 countries shadowing each other around a group of East China Sea islets claimed by both. The accident occurred in the Sato Inland Sea to the east of Atatajima, a small island off the coast of Hiroshima City, adding that the 2 crew members were conscious and their lives are no longer in danger. Apple fights for a bigger slice of China's smartphone pie. The world's largest mobile network is ready to release the Apple iPhone.
Door to the world's largest carrier's 763 million subscribers and giving its China sales a short-term jolt. The long-awaited deal could trigger a limited turnaround for Apple, whose fortunes have wavered in China in the face of stiff competition from market leader Samsung. For the basic 16GB iPhone 5S with no subscriber contract, China Mobile is charging 5,288 yuan, the same as on Apple China's website. The carrier is charging 4,488 yuan for the basic iPhone 5C.
Top seed Serena Williams progressed to the 3rd round of the Australian Open and eased into a straightforward victory against Vesna DeLong. The 5-time winner in Melbourne just took 63 minutes to beat her Serb opponent 6-1, 6-2.
Game set match. Williams 2 sets to love. 6-1, 6-2.
The men's South American coaches fear losing. Theo Walcott, regrettably, will not be the last. The men will surely sustain more serious injuries to rule them out for the World Cup. It is a cruel blow for them. Sabella has got the best out of Messi by opening the pitch for him, playing his captain behind 2 strikers thrown wide to give Messi as much space as possible. Sabella acknowledges the formation leaves his defense vulnerable, especially down the flanks, but he reasons that in an open game, Argentina's firepower will come out on top. Without Messi, the equation is different. It is not so clear that running such risks is in the team's best interest. The little number 10 only started one of his country's final 5 qualifiers, missing 2 and coming off the bench in 2 more, and sat out the past 3 friendlies. One of Sabel's adjustments was a switch to a more conventional 4-4-2. The best, though, was a 3-5-2 used last November in a friendly against Bosnia, by coincidence Argentina's opening World Cup opponents. Thank you for tuning in to CBC News. I'm Lao Xingye reporting just for you.